Kia ora and welcome to Business Your Way, a podcast where I take you behind the scenes and look at the strategies, systems and support needed to grow and scale an online service business. One that not only supports you and your family financially, but one that gives you the freedom to live the life of your dreams. I'm taking the many lessons learnt over the last 2 decades of running my own business and working with hundreds of clients to bring you what's working now conversations. I'm pulling back the curtain to bring you real stories from real people, including myself. We're going to talk about everything from how to get clarity on your vision, creating systems so you can automate and delegate, how to hire a kick-ass team that creates raving, returning and referring clients. We're even going to talk about how to kick those limiting beliefs to the curb so that you can flourish in your business. I'm your host, Sandra Julian, an Indigenous mama of 3, fashion-loving sewist and business strategist. Each week, I want to help you dream big, plan well, and do the work to grow and scale your business your way. Kia ora and welcome back to another episode of Business Your Way. We are at episode 99. I'm thrilled to have you join me today as we dive into a topic that is the key to unlocking the true potential of your service-based business. And that is consistency, because consistency creates efficiency. Now you might be wondering, what's the big deal about consistency? Well, in my opinion, it's the secret sauce that can transform your business from merely surviving to really thriving. Think of it as the compass guiding you towards or guiding you through the ever-changing landscape that we are navigating in our business on a daily basis. But before we dive in, let's really clarify what I mean by consistency, because it's not just a buzzword that I'm sure that you've heard lots of times and many people saying to you, you have to be consistent, consistency is key. Consistency is a mindset. It's a way of doing business that builds trust and reliability. But another way to think of consistency is it's all about delivering a reliable, uniform experience to your clients time and time and time and time again. Because when you consistently deliver outstanding services to your clients know exactly what they can expect from you. And it's this predictability that fosters a sense of confidence and security, making them eager to work with you again and recommend your services to others, which is what we want to achieve. We want to have clients who are raving about our services, who are returning to work with us, and who are referring others to us as well. And I think at the core root of achieving that is having consistency in your business. So imagine you've crafted a seamless process for handling client inquiries. And each time a potential client reaches out to you, they receive the same prompt, friendly response. And it's this consistent approach that sets the stage for a positive client experience from the very beginning, from the very first time that they interact with your business, they get a prompt and friendly response. And you're then setting the tone for the communications that they have with you, and it kicks off that consistency with your communications. But this kind of, experience that you want your client to have with you, starting with that positive experience, this requires really repetitive operational processes that live behind the scenes of your business. Because consistency is actually the cornerstone of a really well-oiled internal operation. And when you have a well-defined process in place, your team can work more efficiently, knowing exactly what needs to be done at what stage of a project or at what stage during that service delivery process that you have laid out in your business. And by implementing and maintaining consistent processes in your business, you pave the way for efficiency to take center stage in your business. And when we have great efficiency in your business, you have streamlined workflows, you have improved productivity, and ultimately you have more time on your hands to focus on other things, to focus on what really matters in your business. And you can have a team that also follows your consistent processes and that can deliver your services to your standards, because the workflows that you have created, the streamlined workflows, they are the consistency that your team need to deliver to your expectations. Because as we know, we all started our business because we were good at something. And when we're good at something, we set a really high bar to the services that we want to deliver to our clients. And when we can get our team to meet those expected service standards, now our business has got efficiency and it will have raving, returning, referring clients, and not just by the work that you do as an individual, but as the work that you do as a team. But the question is, where do you even start? And that's what I'm going to help you with today. So in today's episode, I'm going to give you some really practical steps as to where you can start to look at implementing consistency in your business to create that efficiency and those streamlined workflows, improve productivity, and create a business that has a benchmark for the standard of service that you want your client to experience by working with you. So let's dive in, shall we? The first place that I recommend you start is with a system audit, because we have to look at what is currently happening in your business. Take a closer look at each aspect of your business, from your client onboarding to your project delivery, and pinpoint the areas that could benefit from having more structure and consistency within it. I'm sure when you really sit down to look at these aspects of your business, it'll become really clear what is the process that you follow, where have you got consistency, and where are you a bit all over the place. I like to create what I call a touch point map, and that identifies all the steps that you walk your client through from the point that they sign their contract to work with you through to the point where you finish delivering your services to them. And in fact, I was just working with a client this week, diving into their touch point map during a system audit that I was doing with them. They had identified that they needed to get more efficiency in their business. Their business, they thought it was really manual heavy. There was a lot of work required by the team, and that it all lived in spreadsheets, and there wasn't any, well, they didn't feel that they had any, don't want to say consistent, they don't feel as though they had any efficiencies within their business, I think is a fair way to put it. So they reached out. So I'm working with them to do a system audit to see how we can improve the systems that they have got in order to create more efficiency within their team. So we were working through this touch point map. And during this process, what was highlighted really quickly was they don't actually have an offboarding process in what they do. Their onboarding process and their delivery is on point. But at the other end, when they've finished working with a client or they've finished delivering a program, the onboarding, the touch points with all of those people they've been working with is very minimal. And I was able to see that instantly. And I think that's what was really helpful in having an external set of eyes on their business. And it can be the same for you, is having an external set of eyes on your business. It highlights what you can't see yourself, because sometimes you don't know what you're missing because you don't know what you don't know, right? And that's okay, because we all have our strengths and our weaknesses. We're not all the same. So when you have an external person like myself come into your business and go through this system audit and really look at that touch point map, we can very quickly see where the gaps are. So a system audit by a business operations and automation expert is well worth your time and worth your investment, and will give you a very targeted plan to implement in order to get more consistency and efficiency. So even if you're thinking to yourself, gee, I need more efficiency in my business, we need to free up more of our time. How do I do that? You do it by creating consistency. There's no more guessing games in what's the process. There's no more guessing games at where the touch points for the client is. There's no more guessing games of what comes next, what letter goes out next, what templates used next, what happens next, who picks that up. There's no guessing about any of that when you have streamlined your business. But you have to start with a system audit. You have to look at what is currently going on in your business. And then once you've done your system audit, you've identified the gaps, you've identified the weak points in that touch point map. Now you can move on to streamlining your business with the aim of creating consistency that will in turn create efficiency. I think about streamlining. Well, when I think about streamlining a business and what that looks like, it usually falls into 3 key areas. The first key area is implementation of standard operating procedures. Now, these are fantastic to bring order to the chaos and ensure that everyone on your team is on the same page. So regardless of who does a task, it is done the same way every time, because there's a documented procedure that outlines every step that needs to be taken to get that task done. So that's the first one, is you as the business owner, you have to document the way that you do things, put them into a standard operating procedure before you give it to somebody else to do. The next area of streamlining in your business is to consider automation with some smart technology. We live in a digital age, and there is no shortage of great technology that can do some of the heavy lifting for you. And that frees up your time so that you can focus on serving your clients with more care and dedication. You've got more time to focus on the relationship. But it's not about just implementing any technology. It's about implementing the tools and technology that help your workflows run smoothly. Because way too many times I see businesses implement digital tools because they like the idea of what the tool can do, but they don't fully utilize the tool's functionality because they got a tool that wasn't a right fit for their business or for what they wanted to automate. So I think this is where we need to get really clear about what is our process in our business and what tool is available to help me automate that process. It's not about implementing a tool and looking at how you can automate your business based on what that tool can do. I think that's the wrong approach. So when you're considering how you can automate, it's about knowing your process and then finding a tool that will help you with your workflow processes that you have in your business.
I wanted to jump in here really quickly and ask you for a big favour. If you are loving this podcast and this episode, I would be grateful if you could share it with a friend. Or even better yet, jump over onto Instagram and share it on your stories. Don't forget to tag me, I'm sandrajulian.co. That really is the best way for others to find out about this podcast, and I thank you in advance. Alrighty, back to the episode.
And then what you can't automate, you have to delegate. So this is the third key area. As a passionate service provider, we often want to handle everything ourselves. But that's not possible when we're growing our business, because if we try and do that, that very quickly leads to burnout, and it keeps our business stuck in this inefficient place. So we have to build a team that we can delegate the tasks that we can't automate. And then that brings us back to, that first area that I talked about, having key standard operating procedures, implementing standard operating procedures into your business. That allows your team to carry out the tasks to your set standard and the way that you want to do business, the way that you want to manage your business. So there you have it, my friend. Consistency creates efficiency is the mantra that will guide you towards success in your business, especially as a service-based business where we are doing the heavy lifting for our clients. We are doing the actual work for our clients. So we have to create consistency, which then creates efficiency. The more efficient we can work, the better our bottom line. And if I'm honest with you, I could have covered so many more aspects of consistency. I could have touched on so many more aspects. Like two things come to mind immediately is creating consistency with your client communications. It helps set the boundaries for the client. It helps set the expectations. So I haven't dived into that today. The other thing that I didn't dive into today was consistency with your brand messaging. And when you create consistency, it helps build your brand recognition and it fosters that familiarity with your ideal client. That is another key area where consistency plays a huge role. But today I wanted to keep the episode focused because it's all about the small, consistent steps that lead to the remarkable transformation in your business. And you have to start somewhere. If you haven't started, then that's what this episode was all about, helping you get started with consistency in your business. And as you apply the power of consistency to your business, using this episode as your starting point, you'll then start to experience effortless growth in your business. You'll start to notice that your bottom line will increase. You'll get boosted profits. And you'll have the freedom to reclaim your time and to refocus your time into other areas like your client relationships, because you've created the consistency in your business that has resulted in efficiencies. And when you get efficiencies, the end result is that effortless growth, boosted profits, and the ability to reclaim your time. So I hope you found this episode really useful as a starting point when you are looking to create more efficiencies in your business, or you know that you are the bottleneck and that's not moving the dial in your business. How do you get through being the bottleneck? It is by starting with a system audit, implementing operating procedures, looking at some smart technology to create some automation, and then what you can't automate, you need to delegate. If you need any help with that, you always know that I am here. You can reach out to me. All of my links are in the show notes. Before you go today, I want to thank you for being here and listening all the way to the end. All the links to this week's episode can be found in the show notes, and you can read a full blog of the episode at sandrajulian.co/podcast.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button and get new episodes as soon as they're released. If you'd like to reach out to me and chat about anything on today's episode or any of the previous episodes on the podcast, then I've got a link in the show notes so you can leave me a voice message or a video message. I really do look forward to hearing from you. Alrighty, have a productive week and I will talk to you again real soon.